Okay. 3, 2, 1.
What's up, Pinoy? We're back with a very special guest, and we are at a very special place. Actually, we're using the Adobo Nation set, and thank you very much, Adobo Nation and the Filipino channel. And What's up, Pinoy? Goes TFC, goes Adobo Nation. And we have a very special guest. His name is Josh Padilla, and you're looking at someone who is an inspiration because that's what our show is all about. And this time, tonight, blind meets blind. And Josh is a very talented, gifted person. And I found him here and I couldn't resist. I said, I need to feature you because it would be an inspiration to all of you Pinoys out there. So what's up, Josh?
Hi, how's it going?
Good, good.
Blind meets blind, that's a new one.
Right.
I've heard many of them before, but not blind meets blind, that's a new one for me, yeah.
It's better than blind meeting the
Yeah,
blind.
yeah.
You have a very Filipino family name. You are a pure Filipino, are you?
Yes.
Right. And you are also, are you totally blind, legally blind?
Legally blind is
Legally
the definition,
blind.
yeah.
Right, if you don't mind, this is, what is your condition? For
Well, one of the conditions I have, the one to describe is I was born albino, and the main thing I suffer from is nystagmus.
Oh, all right.
I'm not quite sure the name of the other one. I always get confused on it, so I'd rather just not mention it than anything else. But basically what I have is due to the low amount of pigment in my eyes, and because of other causes, my eyes are what, by the level of the law, would consider blind.
Right, right. Okay.
Which is the term legally blind comes from. That's right.
Right. And of course, you are very productive because you are working here with ABS-CBN. Would you want to describe to our audience what kind of work do you do?
Yeah, sure. I am a writer and a producer for both promo, and I also work at Mix on various programs like the Nut Shack.
Oh, you do?
At 360 Video Magazine, and I have done some voiceover work here as well. Yeah.
Wow. To be a writer, you must do a lot of reading. Do you read a
Yeah.
Right. How do you read?
Well,
I'm just looking for doing it the
sure,
same way.
No. Well, with depending upon which computer system I'm working on, I'm either very, like, maybe an inch away from the computer screen, or
large print.
really large print.
Right. You magnify
A lot of magnification. I used to use Zoom Text when I was younger. I was trained on Zoom Text system, the Dolphin Speak system, and
Right. Yeah, I know that.
mostly just a lot of researching. Thanks to Max, like, I don't really need a specific program. They have the universal thing, so
That's right.
not at the office, but when I'm home alone, like, I'll use the laptop there so I can use the text-to-speak thing, and which is kind of good so I don't have to actually open my eyes to read a long essay on someone so I can write a bio or something.
Oh, was there ever a time that your condition has made you, like, depressed or hopeless? Was there ever a time?
Yeah, actually, many times. I will admit to when I was younger, I'm raised Catholic, and my Catholicism didn't really reach me until my adult ages. So I went to Catholic school, and I was pretty much not, like most kids my age at the time, they didn't really care for the Bible or anything like that. And so I remember when I really discovered what the problem was. Because the visual impairment's one thing, but being albino, being a different color than the rest of your family, that was a big problem, especially, amongst my friends and people I knew.
Right.
And
so it was more the rejection.
It was more the rejection.
Okay.
And then, the more you grew up with the
Mhm.
visual problems, it becomes more of an issue of there are things you cannot, you should not do because you can't do what everyone else can.
Oh,
and
okay. So in other words, it was really your faith in God when you kind of went back to that to keep you going.
Well, it was more of I started to learn to accept what I have.
Okay.
And when I found religion, I started to look at my life a little differently. I discovered that if I were to relive my life over again,
You would choose to be the same person?
well, there's some things that I realized now that it wasn't always just difficulties. I can't read signs. I can't read, certain books I can't read. It made taking notes in school very difficult, reading off the board. But then again, I also realized that.
I went through all those.
Oh yeah, see, there you go. But I also realized that I was very lucky to have been born here in the States. Because in the Philippines, never would have ever happened. I mean, I had this discussion of, things that I basically had a discussion with myself, and I realized there are certain things that if I wasn't here, then it never would have happened. I wouldn't be working at ABS-CBN. I don't know what my conditions would be in life or in school or anything like that. I probably would have been, it would have been harder. I probably would have been more frustrated. I would have been more depressed. I don't know what would have happened to me then. I didn't have to pay for school. I didn't have to, there are certain things that, like, because I was born here and because I was born disabled, I had privileges. I mean, it didn't make it too easy, but it made it
a little
manageable.
Ease the situation. Would you like to please leave a word of advice or to our viewers who are losing hope sometimes because of, well, everybody has a disability, I believe that. But, please give them a word of advice that they will always be encouraged and be uplifted. Especially our kababayans.
Especially my kababayans?
Yes.
I'm going to say you have to get through it. You really have to. You have to stop looking at whatever your problem is and try to get past it.
Right.
Because if you can't do that, then it just becomes, oh, I have a problem and that's it. And if you keep that barrier on you, if you keep it in front of you, it'll always be there. But if you can learn to get around it or go through it, then there's really nothing you can't do.
Last question before I say thanks.
Please, go for it.
How is your situation or condition a blessing?
My condition of blessing, I am...
Become a reflective person.
Sure, I can say that. I can say that there have been things that have happened in my life that have led me to a position in which I know my faith. I know that Jesus is my Savior. I know that the Lord has always loved me, and He will continue to love me. And as long as I recognize that whatever I do, that's just a side thing, I have to understand that my life will always be, getting toward a certain spot in heaven. And as long as the Lord is watching over me, I will not be afraid. And I won't really think of my life the way I used to when I was a teenager, which was a lot worse than I don't really want to explain to most people, but it was a lot different than how I am now.
Thank you very much, Josh Padilla. It's such a privilege. You're a blessing, you're inspiration. Thank you very much, Adobo Nation, ABS-CBN at the Filipino channel. So we'll be back.